we're taking the doors off all the cabinets before they go in. They are lighter. And also the doors get dinged.
Cabinet day. So fun. Okay, you ready? Am I ready?
Yep.
So when working with these finished cabinets, it's really hard not to scratch them at all, okay? So in an effort to not scratch anything up with my tool belt, look at all this junk, right? It's pretty smart to put the upper cabinets in first. Now, what you need to do though, is you need to get your layout for the cabinets on the base, and you need to make sure you know exactly where everything is going, and then move that stuff aside and go ahead and attach your upper cabinets. You can stand right underneath them. You can get a ladder really close, okay? And you're not leaning and reaching out so far, making it harder than it already is. We've also established the bottom of this cabinet with a pencil line drawn with a level, and then we screwed this strip to the wall, a ledger you might call it, to set the cabinets on and make it really easy for us to hang the cabinets. Now, there's screw holes in the wall, but all that's gonna get covered with a backsplash. So we're lucky in this case we can do that, all right? You can't always do that or you'll have holes in the drywall. All right, next, the top height of the cabinet is established by the height of the fridge panel. We have a solid plywooded fridge panel, okay? It's 8 feet even, so we must have the top of these cabinets at 8 feet even. So check out the floor. It's plywood. The cabinets are sitting right on the plywood, okay? Now the reason we're doing that today is because we have a floating floor and you can't put fixed objects like cabinets on them, okay? Because it'll buckle the floor when the floor wants to move. It wants to move just a little bit, okay? So we're gonna run the flooring up to about 1/4 inch away from the toe kick, put the toe kick on, and then a tiny little trim will cover the gap and allow the floor to expand and contract. All right, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of attaching the cabinets to each other. The first time I installed kitchen cabinets, I didn't know that you were supposed to screw the face frames together, and so I screwed the plywood boxes together, and it was really hard. I used shims, and I don't know if it turned out that good anyway, but I've since learned that you're supposed to attach the face frames together. That's where it's at. So we're gonna use this 2.5 inch deck screw, all right? There might be some better screws than this, but this is what we have, and I like these. We're using this special tapered drill bit here, and you can see that the bit is shorter than the screw, all right? And it's got this nice countersink on it, okay? So when the head of the screw goes to the cabinet, it will recess in by a little bit, and that tapered wedge-shaped head of the screw will not split the edge of the frame. That's super important. Okay, so what I wanna do for you is I'm gonna pre-drill a hole into this piece of scrap, and then I'm gonna slice it open so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll hold a screw on it so you can really see what's going on here. All right, you see this pencil line here? That represents the gap between the two cabinets. This is the face frame we're screwing into from one side, and this is the cabinet that we're screwing into on the other side. Now you can see that this is pre-drilled on the side it's coming into completely to where the threads will not catch or engage into the first piece. And that's critical because when the threads catch on the other side, they will catch and draw. So if there's a little gap, it'll definitely suck it tight. It's worth a mention that the face frames on most cabinets are made of a hardwood like maple or cherry or something like that. If you tried to put the screw like this in without pre-drilling, you're definitely gonna split it and break it apart. So always pre-drill.
All right, on cabinet day, this is important. Watch your tools and your tool belt. They hang off the side of you. If you're walking around, boom, and you hit this cabinet with your hammer, that cabinet is done. So I'm wearing an apron. It's probably a good idea to not even wear one.
All right, it's worth a mention if you've got 2 or 3 guys putting in upper cabinets especially, it's gonna be a lot easier. In fact, it could be near impossible by yourself. So this is a job to do with your buddies. Let's go. Okay, drop her down, up a fuzz. I'm on the line right there. All right, ready? Okay. See? That sounds better. Now I'm clamping this right where the hinge is going to go so that I can screw either above or below it with my screw.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go into the face frame with this combo bit. Huge note, make sure you go straight. If you're going left or right, you'll come out the face or the back of the other face frame and make a huge mess. So, yeah, no. Align your drill. If you align the butt of your drill with this rail right here, you'll be good. So I'm gonna go just above this hinge right here, align the drill.
Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna go in with these 2.5-inch screws. The head will recess into that spot right there that this combo bit drilled out for us.
Wow, that was easy.
Yeah, wasn't bad. All right, it's worth a mention that on the upper cabinets, the reveal on the top and the bottom of the door is different. And we usually put the more reveal, which would be this side, up so that we have room to nail the crown molding to it. Just make sure you put them all the same way would be important.
If you pre-drilled too small of a hole for your screws on the face frame, you'll know it because you'll hear all kinds of splitting and cracking from your face frame coming apart into a bunch of pieces. So, drill with the right size.
It's good. All right, we're going with this upper cabinet. There's a lot of measuring involved. I checked that this measurement to the window is gonna be the same as this measurement to the window where this cabinet's going. And also the math of this cabinet and the next cabinet is gonna line up with the face frame of this cabinet. So word to the wise is do a bunch of math before you put these up. Make sure everything's gonna line up nice and even, especially around your main view window in front of your sink.
All right, you check the level. This cabinet. You can go up off. Okay, tilt to the right a little bit. Well, this may not work here. It ain't gonna go.
I'm on it.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. This side. All right, these wires running out here are for under cabinet lights, and you usually want them to come out right there in the underneath part of the cabinet, and then they'll come out here and hook into a light that mounts to the bottom of the cabinet. The standard height on this, I would say, would be 56 inches to come out in that spot. It depends on what flooring you have and all kinds of stuff, but that's a good number to start with.
Next cabinet we have to do, we have two identical cabinets. This one and this one. They mount in different orientations, and I'm gonna examine the cabinets to see if there's any defects so that maybe if there is a defect on one, I could hide it in a place where you won't see it, and the other one that has no defect can be exposed all the way around. It is super rare to get a whole order of kitchen cabinets and not have something wrong with one of them somewhere. I mean, I just don't know if it ever happens. Oh, no. Give me that silly, oh my goodness. If I had a malfunction here.
You cutting close to my stomach?
Okay, there we go, zap. All right, come on in, bring it in. Bring it in now. Whoop. Bring it in.
Nice.
Change these spaces at all?
All right, on these taller cabinets, like a 42 inch, we're gonna do one screw at the bottom, one screw in the middle, one screw at the top, because sometimes these face frames actually have a little warp or bow to them. So like it's flush here, flush up top, and right here there's just the slightest little catch. So we're gonna push that out and attach them in the middle too. All right, so to get this middle part flushed out, what I did is I loosened the top screw. And then as Jono pre-drilled, I just pulled this out with my thumbs like that so it was flush here. And then once that's attached,
we'll push this back flush up top and attach that one. So you kind of got to work these things like any wood product. Sometimes they bow, kind of work top to bottom or bottom to top to get them all flushed out. All right, now I'm gonna put the top back in because the top's got to catch now. Just gonna zip this screw back in. All right, and you can see that actually pulled it a little too far. I'm gonna back it out. All right, that looks good.
All right, so you're screwing in the cabinets to the wall here?
Yeah.
Are you like screwing them into the studs?
No, solid blocking that we put in before the drywall went in.
Oh, like during the framing you did that?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Exactly.
like easier now, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like
hand.
super smart. It look good.
All right, now after the boxes are screwed to the wall and the face frames are screwed to one another, we'll come back and reinstall these doors and align them. Usually they don't come aligned very well from the factory. You have to do a little fine tuning to get them to look nice like that. And it's always a good idea to check the width of the door before you put it back on. This one's a little bit narrow. I think we'll swap that out, buddy. That wasn't even his fault.
Said it was the right door.
That wasn't your fault.
You might want to shim the base cabinets so that they are level.
Now, in this case, and in a lot of cases, due to the crown of the studs in the wall, the top of this cabinet is not touching the wall, even though the bottom is way down here. So we're gonna use these door shims, where we're gonna put the screws. We'll put them in to where they're tight, and we'll cut them off with a razor knife. Also, on the floor, we'll use these same door shims to jack the front up, to jack the front up level. We'll slide these shims under, like we have here. We'll make a line on them and chop them off so the shim slides completely under, and we'll actually put a little glue on that as well so it stays. Shimmy do.
Little bit of glue. Little bit of glue. Oh, there it is. Uh-oh.
So the way we've had to shim these from the wall at the top due to the crown of the studs has left a little gap right here down to tight at the bottom. What we do is put a piece of scribe molding on that, and this is pretty flexible stuff. You'll just install it with a pin nailer tight to the cabinet. That will basically cover that little variation and make it look nice, clean, slick finish.
Right here we have a dishwasher. It's going to be 24 inches wide, and the cabinets don't connect in any way to each other. So it's important to take a long straight edge and be certain that your cabinets are nice and flat across the tops, because the piece of granite that's going to go on here will not flex or bend to a shape. All right, it's going to be dead flat. So we need to make sure this is real primo right here. All right, you're going to love this. We're going to show you how we attach an island to the floor.
Which mark?
Island. You pick the book. No, actually, that's the one.
That's the one?
Yep. Nope. Give me that. That's the one.
All right. Okay, so we placed this cabinet in place to that chalk line and then traced the perimeter of the cabinet. Now we're gonna move it and put some blocks underneath that we're gonna actually attach the cabinet to. The blocks will attach to the floor, and then the cabinet will attach to the blocks. And that's a great way to get this thing down solid.
Now to get our blocks screwed to the floor in the right location, we need to measure the thickness of the cabinet. This plywood is a 1/2 inch thick, and the back is a little different. It's 5/8. So we measured back, mark that on the floor, and then we're gonna leave a little bit of the line showing because we want just a little bit of wiggle room to make sure it's not too tight. Holy cow. Dude, what the heck? What? Okay. Come on down, come on down. You might want to push down on that for me a little bit. We got our fridge panel here. Unfortunately, this one we have to assemble. The face on this one has to get attached to the panel. So we're using this 1/2-inch staple here, and we're gonna shoot it at an angle in the corner there, per the instructions. Oh, great. All right, this is the cabinet going over the refrigerator. It measures exactly 36 inches, and that's normally what you would leave for a refrigerator, but they usually kind of bulge out on the sides. They got some curves to them, all right? So we need a little bit more than 36 inches. We're gonna use these scribe molding pieces that are painted as fillers. That's gonna buy us about another 1/2 inch total. We'll put one on each side. That'll give just a little bit of wiggle room for the fridge to slide in and out, hopefully, without scraping the sides of the cabinets.
All right, guys, that concludes our basic installation of the cabinetry. Ray has got our doors put on and aligned just right, but still we have to do the crown molding, the drawer pulls, the light rail, and the kick plate, so there's still a lot to do. We'll do another video on that because this one's already too long. So thanks for watching our video today. I hope it helped you. There's still more to know about cabinetry. This really just touched the surface, even though it was long. Remember to subscribe, click the bell, and you'll get all of our future videos, and one of those will be about light rail and crown molding and all those other things. So have a good one, thanks.